Today's GCSE topic is going to have a look at enlargements. Now, whether you sit in foundation or higher tier, you can almost guarantee that this is going to come up. And it tends to be worth 2 or 3 marks, which are very gettable in my opinion. First of all, we'll have a look through the key things that you need to know basically in order to complete this question. First one is scale factor. This just basically means how many times bigger the shape is going to be made from its original. So scale factor just tells us how many times bigger it's going to be made. The second one is called a center of enlargement. Now the way I want you to think of this as, if you were in a dark room and you had a torch, if you shine the torch on your face and the torch is really, really close to you, your enlargement in your shadow is going to look quite different compared to if you put the torch quite far away and shined it on your face. Okay, so center of enlargement, it does make a difference where I'm enlarging the shape from. And the last one, this is just a side note, it's not always going to be bigger. The tendency is to think that enlargement means to make something bigger. There are cases where the scale factor is less than 1 but greater than 0, where the shape is actually going to be made smaller, and we'll have a look at an example of that later on. Now the first one, scale factor 3, and I'm going to draw a little shape. C is my center of enlargement, and then I've drawn a little right angle triangle. First important thing, and I'd encourage you to do this as well, is the scale factor. Scale factor 3, I've just highlighted that. What that means is I'm going to try and make this triangle 3 times as big in its enlargement at the end. So what I do, point at a time, I go from the center of enlargement and I count how many squares I need to travel to get to any one point of the triangle. So the top one, you'll notice, doing my little green dotted line, I've gone 2 straight across. So scale factor 3 means I've got to do this 3 times. Now this is where you have to be careful. You've already done it once, so you have to do it another 2 times, okay? Not another 3 times. You've already done the initial journey once to get from C to the top part, so you do it another 2 times. There's another 2, and then there's another 2, and I'm going to leave it like that. Now the bottom left-hand point then, we go 2 down and 2 across, so I'm going to do it another 2 times. And then I finish there. And then my bottom right-hand point, the one which is furthest away, I go 2 down and 4 across, okay? 2 down, 2 of the little orange ones, that following that path across, and then 2 of the blue, so 4 across in total. And do this another 2 times. Right, where my dotted lines finish, and it's perfectly acceptable, and I'd encourage you to do this, to do exactly the same on your exam paper, they are my end points now of my new enlarged shape. So I connect them up, that is my new triangle that I've enlarged. Now, if you've got time when you come to do this in the exam, this is a little check you can use to almost basically tell yourself whether you're right or whether you need to go back and change it slightly. If you draw a straight line that runs through the center of enlargement and any point on the original triangle, you should find that your new shape, the one you've enlarged to, so the bigger triangle in this question, that corresponding point should lie on the same line. So you'll notice I draw a straight line. The bottom left-hand corner of the little triangle is on the line, and the bottom left-hand corner of the big triangle is on the line. So I have done this question correctly. And if you look at the other 2 points, the bottom right-hand corner of the little triangle is on the line, and the bottom right-hand corner of the big one is on the line, and the same for the top one. So that's just a little check you can do to basically tell yourself whether you're right or whether you need to have another go at it. Number 2 then, scale factor of 1/2. This is as difficult as it gets, certainly in foundation tier. Scale factor of 1/2. This means that the shape is going to become 1/2 times as big. And if you think of it 1/2 times as big, what's actually going to happen? It's going to shrink. So this is the case I was saying, where enlargements are not always making a shape bigger. Again, I've drawn my center of enlargement and I've just drawn a simple rectangle. We do exactly the same thing. So I'm going to take 1 point, the one that's closest to me, the top right. And to get there, I go 2 down and 4 across. If this can become as 1/2 times as big, then rather than going 2 down, I'm going to go 1 down. And rather than going 4 across, I'm going to go 2 across. So 1 down, 2 across in the same direction, and I'm going to put a little dot. Then I'm going to look at another point, and I've gone 5 down and 4 across. So I do the same again, half the times the distance, Half of 5 is 2.5, so I'm going to go 2.5 down, half of 4 is 2. So 2.5 down, 2 across, and put a little dot. And then you do exactly the same for the other two sides of the rectangle as well. I'm going to fill them in quickly for the sake of time. They're going to be there. You join it up. Again, you can sort of tell this is right because it's shrunk. Yeah, it's become 1/2 times as big. But you can use your little lines, the yellow lines, to draw them through to check if they lie on the same lines. And you can see that all my points lie perfectly on the lines. So as a little summary note at the end, my basically tips would be, so that you ensure you get this right all the time, is you take a point at a time and you draw the check lines. Point at a time, this is the most important one. The people who get this wrong are the people who try to be clever and do it all in one. Okay, point at a time. If you're uncertain, you count and you work out what you need to do, you make your new point, and then you join the shape up the end. The last thing, and this is only really a luxury if you've got the time, is you draw the check lines in, and they will basically tell you whether you're close to getting the answer right or not.